One great way of adding some visual interest to your projects is through animation. And the great news is that Canva has lots of options and it's pretty easy to use. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to animate this text. So very simply, I would just click on the text, and on my little pop-up toolbar is Animate. Now it understands that these are letters, so it's going to animate these letters accordingly. So if I just hover over these, you're going to get a nice little preview of all of them. And you can see here, I can just say bounce. I'll choose that one. And then when you choose one, you're going to see you're going to get extra options here in terms of intensity. Do you want it to be the character? Do you want it to be the word that's going to be animated? Do you want it to come in a little bit blurry? You have all kinds of different options. And if you want to do just for the whole block itself, you can go ahead and choose any of those. Now these I really like because they're all about just the letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose this one right here where it's going to come clarified just like that. And then also you'll see here is you can choose the animation to come either on enter, on exit, or on both. I'm just going to make it so it's going to come on entering of this particular project. Let's now go ahead and just do birthday. I'll do a similar one. I'll go over to here to animate. And then let's just go ahead and just do something kind of fun. Just like that. That pops in. And then I'll just increase the intensity. You can see it's going to come in a little bit faster and harder. Okay, very good. Love that. Now let's go ahead and work with, let's just say her. This is going to be a little bit different because this is going to be an image. So now you're going to see I have all kinds of different options here. And for her, I'm just going to make her also come in from blurry to visible. And just by doing that, and then there she is. Now, you will see here that you can control the speed for this particular one. So I'm going to have her come in a lot faster than that. And you can see there she comes in. All right, now anytime you want to remove the animation, you can very easily do it right from there. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to control these balloons. Now, we're going to learn about one particular tool that's pretty great so you can control the path around this. So if I go back to Animate, you'll see there's this Create an Animation, drag elements around the canvas to create your own. So very simply, I'm going to choose that, and it's waiting for me now to control it by now just clicking and dragging to make a shape around it. And you can see there it is, not too bad, and floating up, 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 just like that. You can also add on some other modifications to that, but I'm pretty happy with the way this is, and I'm going to click on Done. Now let's see how we can control all the durations of the animation so we can see when they're going to come in so we can change the timing. So let's go over here to the lower left. We're going to choose duration. And then as I select any of these objects, for example, happy, notice how happy now appears right here, right above it. If I go over to here to birthday, that also appears here. So whatever I choose is going to show up over here under my durations. Now, if I want birthday to come in a little bit after happy, I would now just have this come in about 1.5 seconds after happy. So I click back on happy, notice that comes in right away. Birthday comes in after that. And then these guys, you can see there are my balloons. I'm going to have that come in a little even after birthday. So great. Now I'm going to preview this and we'll just see exactly what that's going to look like. There's happy, there's birthday, and then beautiful, there are my balloons. Fantastic. That is really, really neat. Now, one thing to note is that you have animations that can be on individual objects, but you also have animations that can be on an entire page. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove all these animations. So I'm going to click back over here. It says clarify. I'm going to remove this animation, go over to here to birthday, remove that one, come over to here, and then I'm going to delete this path. Because what you may want to do to save yourself some time is do an animation on the entire page. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on sort of nothing really, just kind of this background. And then I'm going to choose animate. Now the animation is going to be the page animation, and you're going to see they have a ton of these. Now the animation is now going to be a sweeping animation on all the different elements on the page itself. So I'll go ahead and choose party, and you'll see, whoa, all kinds of different things happen there. So that's a very automated way that just makes everything really, really pop. Let's go ahead and try another one. Let's go to sleek. That's kind of fun. Maybe simple. That's not too bad either. Have one that's actually just called fun. Love that. All right, and you know what? I'm pretty good with that. Now, one thing to note, going back to the deck that we were looking at earlier, that in fact had one of these page animations. So the animations that we were seeing were on the entire slide, and then the next slide had its own. And that's why there was so much movement there. So if you try to isolate each individual one, you can absolutely do that, but know you can save a lot of time using these page animations. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that you can share this, but when you do share it and you do export it, you will need to know that if you do save this as a JPEG, for example, these animations will not translate. This has to be a video file. And we'll go ahead and see that in our upcoming lesson.